I've got none other than the man of the hour, Mr. Karl.
Eventually, when my money comes back up, I can buy properties outright.
You're giving away a lot of hacks here, man. You're giving away a lot of hacks.
Because of how the interest rates are, I'll more push people to... That's also part to yourself as well. I say, like, you made the process of me understanding how the bridging system works.
Okay, so welcome back again to another episode. This week, I've got none other than the man of the hour, Mr. Karl from Ching Constructions.
How you doing, my man Sebs? Good to see you.
Likewise, good to have you finally here on the episode. We've been wanting to have this meet up for a minute, so you've obviously had your project. We're going to talk about what you're getting up to. You've been very, very busy. You're very active on socials as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy that we're going to have this conversation. But before we jump into it, can I give the opportunity for you to introduce yourself or who you are, what you do, and
yeah, sure. People. So like Seb said, my name's Karl Chin. So I've got my own construction company, and at the moment we do our own properties as well. So as Chin's Property Group, and we also help other people do up their properties with other developers. So that's what we do at the moment.
And this is very important because there's a lot of builders out there that do a lot of homes, but what made you want to actually get into do your own projects and start doing it yourself?
I think one of the things is where I was doing a lot of work for other like developers as well as private clients doing up their homes. I could kind of see that there's the value in, if I've got my own construction company, I can eventually build my own empire and build my own property portfolio myself. So that's what made me want to get into it more.
Now, you've been in the construction industry for how long?
So I've been doing it for like a decade now.
Ooh, a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what made you want to get into it?
I think it was a thing where one of my friends, he was a gas engineer plumber, and I went and worked with him for one day, and he made about $450 and finished work about midday, and I was like, hey, no brainer, I need some of this money. I mean, so yeah, well, then that's what got me into it. And along the way, I just started to pick up other trades and learn about buildings, working with architects, structural engineers. And yeah, I'm here today because of that.
Brilliant. And you've done literally like everything across the board. So from simple gas jobs to ground up developments, you've literally been in that part of it all, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So the first, obviously, is learning the fundamentals basis of anything. And once you start to understand it, it's like a puzzle. You put all the pieces together, and then you come out with the outcome with a nice built home, new property, or you can design something for one of my clients that they want and produce what they want.
So you've done literally like high end. You've done obviously just quick, small jobs.
Yeah.
And then for yourself, like obviously you can do large construction jobs, but you like to do the quick in and out ones and then moving on to larger scale ones, yeah?
Yeah, so it all depends on the project because every project's different. And, it's always a challenge, each one. And I think that's what I like as well. So we don't only just also concentrate on residential, we also have done like a few commercial properties as well. So we try and do everything because once you try and start something in construction, you learn. You're always constantly learning when you're building something new, and I'd say that's something I like across in the industry. I'd say most definitely.
Brilliant. And what makes Karl very unique and different is he's very active on socials. So you're not your typical builder that's kind of like you're just putting the pictures up and you're shying away from the camera. You're very active. You're showing people what you're doing, your jobs. You're sharing the knowledge and information, because what I find in the industry that a lot of people find builders are the trickiest and the hardest part, and you're active on social. What made you want to get into being so active on social?
Probably one is like obviously promotion wise. I wanted to obviously get my name and brand and everything out there, and on top of it, I realized like a lot of clients when I started off were when they're first getting builders, are a bit skeptical of spending that amount of money or giving up a lot of money to a builder at first, and then some builders don't always get the job done right. So probably I wanted to give this basis way of showing how things is being built and done to give people out there a better like vision on what they have to look for and what the quality of work is needed from some builders basically.
And has it been well received? So have people like come back to you, or did they like that? Have you had comments on it?
Yeah, I get a lot of like engagement from like followers and everyone, and people asking questions, and they're interested in getting involved, and they ask questions if they when they want to get into property, what's the best things and how they can design and look, and even pricing and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty good, and I'm open and happy to be sharing the knowledge and helping everyone along the way.
I think it's brilliant. So it can almost be like a lot of people's Achilles heel, where they want to kind of trust their builder, but they're unsure what he's going to do and what he's going to be like. But there's no running from you because your face is plastered all over socials. You're active, you're there. So I think that's a really, really good point. And it's also, for me, the knowledge that you share. You know, a lot of builders don't. They keep it quite close to their chest, and so that's really, really priceless. So credit to you, man. Credit to you for that. And so let's get on to your project. Yeah. So obviously we funded it using bridging finance, and like for a lot of people it's quite nerve-wracking because the thing that's really caught me is a lot of tradesmen want to get into it. But they're often so busy on other people on the tools that they don't have time to do their own deals.
I think what is with a lot of tradesmen is like, again, I put it back to like understanding the fundamentals of getting the finance, because it's quite daunting when you're borrowing a large amount of money and it's set over a period of time like 9 to 12 months and you need to get the project finished. You know, for us, you automatically think you need to upfront the full amount cost for the property, and obviously if you don't understand how bridging finance actually works, then you're just going to brush it aside. A lot of tradesmen, you know, we could be doing it and be out here and easily cleaning it up.
Talk to them.
It'd be easy be cleaning it up. It's not that difficult, but it's like with anything. Once you start and you try it and then you understand it, you'll get through it. It's fine.
So you say you want some more?
Oh yeah, I'm all over it right now.
I knew you was going to say that.
I love it.
I knew it. So, but the thing is as well though, because it's a serious note, because there's a lot of tradesmen that need to be doing this because a lot of them are stuck on the tools and they want to, you know, they've done a decade or more.
I think as well it's pressure as well. So it is a lot of pressure when you are taking on jobs and taking on sites, because obviously you've got to also deliver, and again, you know, you've got a large amount of money, you're working with people, and when things go wrong, it's all backed up on you. And I think for some of them to take that pressure as well, to also, you know, be borrowing a large amount of money to get a project finished and get over the line and sold, or whatever the exit cost clause is going to be, you know, it is a lot of pressure. But once you've done it, you smooth sailing after that. Smooth sailing.
But you said at the beginning, you mentioned something key at the beginning, saying that a lot of it was the funding or the finance part. That's what they kind of get stuck on. You believe,
yeah.
So you got definitely a lot of tradesmen that reach out to you or spoke to you.
I've had a lot, and you know, I just guide them and explain to them. You know, I tell them, look, just do it, innit? Just try it. You always got to remember what's the worst that can happen. The worst that happen is it falls down or it's going to get repossessed. But in hindsight, it's not really going to happen. Those things ain't going to happen. Those things will happen if you let it happen.
Fact. And I find that as well, that you don't know what you don't know. And with myself and Karl, we bounced a lot and speaking about things and got the full understanding of the bridging. And once you understood it, Karl, like he was gone. He's gone clear. And I think
that's also a part to yourself as well. I say, like, you made the process of me understanding how the bridging system works and keeping in contact with the bridging finance company. And if there was any issues, you know, you was there to hand. So obviously those kind of things help as well. So.
Appreciate. So now let's talk about your what tell the people.
So we got a 1-bed flat, and
Mm-hmm.
then we converted it into a 2-bed by adding a single story extension to the rear. And so we managed to finish that. We finished the project in about 4 months. So then we had it up online, marketed. And then it took a while to sell, if I'm going to be honest, because obviously.
Why was that though? Because obviously this is one of the things that you can't control. A lot of things you can control, but certain things were out of your control. So obviously when the property, I think the interest rates rised as soon as we finished and put on the market. It went on about Christmas time as well, so it's a bit quiet around that period as well. So that was one of the issues. But again, for me, that was a learning curve for me, because obviously it's the first one I'm putting up to sell. So, you know, I had to work with estate agencies, and some of them are a bit slower than others, and it was a bit painful the first like 3 or 4 months. But eventually, I've got a good estate agent on board, and you know, they were amazing. They were great. Who's the estate agent?
Livingston. Them boys, they're the business. Jason, they're the business. They make things happen in it, and they were always with me as well. So they was always keeping me updated, contacting me and saying, you know what, Karl, I think this will be good. You know, looking, and also foresight. They was thinking, you know, how things are the market's gonna maybe drop. So, you know, best to settle at a price that was suitable for me as well. Brilliant. So it all panned out in the end. Like I said, it all panned out.
And it always does. And I think for me, it was kind of, how can I put it? Not good, but I enjoyed the fact that you went through little bumps, because what a lot of people have done is had it plain sailing before, where They kind of do their first one, it goes very easy, and they assume it's going to be like that. You had the challenge of Liz Truss coming in, and the market rate, the economy went upside down. Rates were all over the place. You pull it on with an estate agent. My opinion, I think you should have put it on with multiples. You went on with one, got tied into a contract, had to wait for them to obviously come out of that contract before leaving that. But a lot of this stuff that you learn on the job.
Yeah, issue. So the first reason why I didn't want to go with multiple, because obviously it's the percentage.
Yeah.
So obviously when you're going with multiple, it's like an extra 1 or 2%, isn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously,
unless you can haggle, unless you can negotiate.
So obviously my first thought is I've known the quality and how this property looks, especially from the feedback of like all estate agents I brought in there, people that've seen it, and I knew as someone would snap it up and take it. So I thought, well, look, if it's with one good estate agent, I'm pretty sure it will go. But obviously, due to circumstances, what happened with the interest rates, the market dropped a bit in it. So then, obviously, I had to eventually like put it on with somebody else, and like I said, they got it across the line, and that's the main thing. That's the main thing to get it across the line,
which is brilliant. And let's talk numbers while we're at it now.
Yeah.
What was your purchase price?
So purchase price was 260.
260.
260.
What was the works?
The works is including all the architectural fees and everything, structural fees, is about 50. So about 50. I ended up paying 50.
And then what was the end value or GDV?
So the GDV end value.
Because there was two.
There was two. So it originally got priced at like 4,020.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we brought it down to 400,000, and then I agreed on like around 385.
385. Okay.
Yeah.
So like I said, there was some money in it.
There was money in it.
More importantly for you was the learning curve of going through it and the process of just getting in and out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Which was really important for you.
Yeah. Literally.
And then also understanding the whole bridging concept. Would you use bridging again?
Oh yeah, most definitely gonna use bridging again. So obviously for me, bridging works well. So obviously it's going to help coincide with both of my business, because obviously whereas I've got a construction company and my own property company, my construction company builds the properties and funds the property company, whereas obviously the build and everything's going to be a lot cheaper for me. So obviously eventually when all that my money comes back up, I can buy properties outright through my property company and then just use the bridging finance just to do the build.
You're giving away a lot of hacks here, man. You're giving away a lot of hacks.
Listen, don't worry, we got mentoring coming, so be prepared.
You heard it, you heard it here first. So mentoring is coming. We're literally showing people the process from start to finish, what you can do. So it's coming, so hang tight, people. But
that's definitely,
I think that was a real hack for people to actually understand and to go through this, because this is something you do. You actually offer workshop days where you bring along people to come along to on site as well. So these are other little things that you're doing, and like I said, it's very unique because you give a lot of value, and like I said, a lot of builders don't do that. And you give a lot of information and value, free information as well.
It's like it's understanding the process of everything in it. So I had to take this took like I said, I've been in it for a decade, so it's taken me so long to learn everything and work along with people and build up my contacts and everything and understand the process. So I'm at a point where I can help somebody save 3-5 years worth of trial and error.
3-5 years.
Yeah, most definitely. It's a long process.
No joke. 3-5 years in the industry. That's good.
To say people that. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
And then, so what's the plans for you going forward?
So going forward, at the moment, we're doing a lot of projects at the moment. I think we've got about 4 projects on that to go, but they're like a lot of we're getting more service accommodations, they're flipped, and we still do up people's houses here and there. We've got another new build, 2 homes that will be doing soon, so that's the groundworks and all that's getting sorted out at the moment.
Slow down for a minute, man. You got a lot going on here, man.
The game loves us. We love the game. We love the game.
You heard it, man. The man loves the game loves us. You know them ones. So.
So we're here. So we're just keeping it going. We're also now going to start looking to. We've put in to buy a block of 3 flats. So we're going to hopefully renovate that or turn that into a service accommodation. So we're still listening out on planning for that.
Service accommodation, because you actually had, again, going through the experience of what you did, you also, while you was waiting to sell, a little hack for you to obviously bring in some cash flow was doing what?
Yeah, so basically renting it out. So I had
How was you renting it out?
So we rented it out as a service accommodation. So the first option was, I was looking at the numbers if I was to rent it out, and I think if I was going to rent it out, it was something like $1,700 a month. I would get maximum.
Your face is like $1,700, like it's not a lot.
Well, obviously compared to when you're paying your fees and everything, you still got to pay a bridging loan fee. So it was good. It would cover everything, so I'd have been fine. But I started to put on service accommodation, tried it out for 2 weeks, and the return on that was way much better. And it was easier to maintain and keep the upkeep of the property. So if there was anything, breakages, damages, we can easily like repair it. So it was a lot easier and better that way.
Now, was you nervous doing this whole service accommodation at first? Because obviously there's a lot of people kind of, they hear it, it's a bit of a buzzword at the moment. But, you know, for yourself, I remember having conversations with you.
I think for me, on my part, whereas it's a lot to manage, if I'm going to be honest. And whereas like I'm managing my businesses itself already, me taking on that, managing people coming in and out and then getting cleaners and staying on top of things, it was a lot. So I had to get somebody else in to manage that for me, and who made it a smoother process.
So you outsourced or delegated work,
yeah.
being a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, so you have to, when you get to a point, you need to understand your value and what you can bring to your business, and increase the value of your business and bringing in more work. So that's the main focus on something that I'm doing on my business. So if there's something else that I can delegate to somebody else where it's not worth my time, you have to hand it over. You can't do everything. You can't do everything.
And that allows you to scale as well, because a lot of people don't understand that. This is why a lot of builders or tradesmen get stuck on the tools. Because they don't know how to do this. Yeah,
literally, I'll be honest, like literally I'm just starting to come off the tools. So where I'm getting so busy.
You're smiling as you're saying it.
Yeah, it's good and it's not, because I do love it. I do like when I was getting stuck in this, it's how I started in it. But at the same time, I'm growing in it. The business is growing. Everything's going good. So it eventually was always inevitable. It was going to happen.
Okay. Would you recommend people do like the whole BRR, the 1 to 2 bed conversion, the lease extensions? Would you recommend that to people? Yeah,
most definitely recommend it. So it all depends on what you want to do in life and where you want to see yourself in the property industry. So yeah, BRRs are working, but right now I wouldn't recommend it because of how the interest rates are. I'll more push people to do flips, HMOs, and service accommodation.
From the builder, you got
those
the
are the
finance
things.
Man, you got the builder here. We're telling you like these flips.
Flips work. So flips will always work. You're always going to get your money back and profit in it. So it's always good to have flips. So yeah, I'd say they're working at the moment, and eventually build yourself up. Look for like bigger projects and that, but definitely once it's to get your foot in the game and in the door, I would say definitely start off with like flips.
Brilliant. What I love about it is you've got a little ecosystem you mentioned there, because you said you got your building firm, you've got your service accommodation, you've obviously got so where you're mixing it up, that you're buying the properties, you're managing them, you're also then doing the works on them. So it's like a nice little ecosystem.
Yeah. All coincides with one another and works. So I kind of stumbled across the service, but that's how it is in the game. Like I said, you just try things out, and if it works, it works.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's been really good having you on here. I want to make sure that people, like, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Chins Construction. We've got a website, www.chinsconstruction.co.uk. All the information is on there. So yeah, that's where you can find us.
Well, it's been amazing having Karl on today. Like, he's got so much value. Myself and Karl got big things coming, so make sure you stay tuned, because for me, having a builder that's so trustworthy, and I trust Karl wholeheartedly, very genuine, valuable, knowledgeable, and he's also always willing to share. So make sure you hit him up and stay tuned for what we got coming up. And I hope you found value in this episode, and make sure you like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next one.